Thank you all for being here today. My name is Michelle Puzzo, the Executive Director of Your Community Cares. And here we are talking about technology supporting deaf and hard of hearing communities. And our first speaker is Janine Katomsky. She's the president of the Hearing Loss Association of America, Eastern Connecticut chapter. So we're so happy to have her here with us today. And I'd like to have you get started, and I will advance the slides when you're ready. So welcome, Janine.
Thank you very much, Michelle. I'm so happy to collaborate with you to help people. And I love working with Louisa also. And my colleagues and I, the community we serve, have varying degrees of hearing loss, ranging from mild to severe, either acquired at birth or later on in life. We communicate by speaking, we're oral, and I have a lot of helpful suggestions for you. We live in a time of fantastic technology that can make us more comfortable and help us with our communications and being alert to sounds. If you have any questions, you can ask me later, or feel free to email me. I'll be providing my contact information. A little bit of background about hearing loss statistics. Connecticut has over 3 million residents. 15% of them have some hearing loss. If you see the bar graph, every decade of life, the percentage of hearing loss increases. So like after age 60, over 50% of people have some kind of hearing loss. And
damn it, I wish I could fucking hear
the percentage of people who have moderate to severe loss also increases, so that by the time you're in your 70s, 80s, like 84% of people have hearing loss, evenly divided by thirds, mild, moderate, and severe. 97% of the people with hearing loss in Connecticut communicate by speech and reading. And I'm very happy to share some suggestions for useful technology for you. These are just recommendations. They're not specifically endorsed by me or the Hearing Loss Association. We start with a good basic help speech to text app. Most of you have cell phones, and these are the simple steps to set up automatic captioning on your phone for face-to-face conversation and speaking. The apps are pre-installed on the newer phones, or they could be downloaded from the Android and Apple Store. For Android, number 10 or later, or the Samsung Series S20 or later, or the Z Flip. And this is on iPhone 11 and later. This is great to use anywhere, and it's free. Another great thing is all these companies have come out now making eyeglasses that caption. So that actually serves two purposes. For those of you that need eyeglasses to wear anyway, but they also come with non-prescription lenses. The sound is transmitted by Bluetooth by the microphone directly to the eyeglasses, or some of them work together with a smartphone, and they show the captions in real time when someone's speaking to you. And a lot of them also translate different languages. So if you have a hearing loss and you're traveling in Japan and someone comes up to you and talking Japanese, the captioning of your eyeglasses can automatically translate it into English for you. The cost of this is ranges from $300 to $1,000. You may be eligible for financial assistance and or from vocational rehabilitation. And it costs about $15 to $50 a month. Okay, another super thing to have is caption. It's free. It could be installed on your phone. It's funded by the FCC. They caption incoming and outgoing calls and also voice messages. And it works with Wi-Fi. If there's no Wi-Fi available, it also works with cellular data. There's also now text to 911. It's available in various cities in Connecticut since 2017 for emergency calls. The FCC requires this. It uses next generation 911 technology to accept text, data, and images. There's a registry here to check for the locations of the call centers that accept these in Connecticut. Text, low line, 911, low line, master, low line, PSAP, low line, registry. And what you do is if you ever need to use this, if you have hearing loss or speech impediment, or domestic violence, home invasion, any situation where you can't openly talk, but you could text. You enter 911 in the blank space where you put in a new message. You put in the brief message, your location, and your emergency. Do not attach videos or photos and stay connected. If there's no service, you get a bounce back message telling you to call 911. And if you cannot hear, with the phone call, that's where caption comes in, and it would text caption your calls. Okay, after this, let's talk about hearing loops. For those of you who have a hearing aid or cochlear implant with a T-coil installed in it, the way it works is when you go to a medical office or any meeting room or theater, there's a basic transmitter connected to copper wiring that goes around the perimeter of the room. And then it's connected to the microphone of the speaker or sound system. And this copper wiring generates a magnetic field that connects with the T-coil in your device. And it's like direct amplification in your ear. It's really great. And I advise people, if they're getting a hearing aid, ask your audiologist for it. This T-coil is available in the hearing aid models that go behind the ear, or the larger in the canal molds. The companies that have this are Phonak, Starkey, Oticon, Widex, and Resound. There's at the bottom of this slide the website to locate the places in Connecticut that have hearing loops in the different cities. Time number 2, time2loopamerica.com/loop-locator/. Okay, now we're going to talk about specific situations, and one of the most important things for us is when we have medical appointments and we have to go to the doctor's office or hospital. The ADA gives you the right to accessible communication with medical providers, and this takes precedence over HIPAA, patient privacy. I want to mention a form that you can get on the website, hearingloss.org, which is the website of Hearing Loss Association of America. This is the Communication Access Plan. You fill out details about your disability, devices you use, your preferred mode of communication, and you hand it to the nurse or the receptionist. And it's a good idea to tell them you have a hearing loss, and when a staff person comes out to call you in to see the doctor, they should be discreet and come over to you or get your attention. There's a few options for communication in medical settings. You could use the speech-to-text app on the phone. There's Pocket Talkers, which is a portable amplifying system. And CARD is when somebody transcribes the conversation for you. UB2O is a set of 2 keyboards with screens for one-to-one communication. And there's whiteboards, notepads, and pens. The Pocket Talker has headphones attached to it, and you can use them with or without hearing aids. And the UB2O, if you're speaking to a doctor or a medical staffer, each of you is typing on your screen and a keyboard. You see both persons' conversation in real time. It's wireless. It uses a transceiver. It does not use internet, which is why places like the government offices and law enforcement, DMV like using it because it maintains privacy. And you could buy this from SCOM, lowercase s, uppercase C, lowercase o-m-m. You could get it cheaper on eBay. And this is covered by vocational rehab and the VA and Medicare. It meets the insurance coding requirements as a medical necessity. We also have a larger pen. We're talking now about business settings. We have the aforementioned hearing loop speech-to-text app. A larger pen is a wireless microphone that looks like a fat pencil. You can hold it in your hand or hang it around your neck, or it stands on the table, and it amplifies the speech, sounds, and it works together, streams directly to the hearing aids. We also are now talking about entertainment. They use for theaters and entertainment the hearing loop and Auracast. Gala Pro app installed on a cell phone, which transcribes the script of the show in real time. There's also a special handheld device that some theaters can lend you, as shown in the picture there, that transcribes in real time. I've explained about hearing loops. Oracast is now being set up and expanding. It works on Bluetooth technology. It allows just one transmitter to broadcast high-quality audio simultaneously to everybody in the audience that has the receivers on their hearing devices. And it's like tuning into a network. You can adjust the settings to stream the audio on your hearing device. So right now, we still use hearing loops, but Oracast will be coming in and working together with it. You have to ask for a hearing aid that's enabled already for Oracast. And right now, Starkey and ReSound next year have that capability to pick up Oracast. All right. So I think we're talking now about the home. Sorry, okay. The home is a very important place for us. We need to be able to hear things, like if there's a fire or a theft. The company I use is ADT. It's really loud. The remote sensors have flashing strobe lights, and they customize it for you and put it in every room you need it. Doorbells, you could set up remote ringers that also are very loud with flashing lights to alert you when the visitor's there. Alarm clocks, they come with a loud ringer with an attached vibrating shaker button. I put mine inside my pillowcase, guaranteed it always wakes me up. And they also make watches and wristbands. When the alarm goes off to wake you up, they vibrate if you're more comfortable with that. And even though many of us have cell phones, some of us still use landline phones. They're free from the FCC, no extra monthly charges, and they caption messages also. There's a couple of nice companies like CapTel and Caption Call. Your television, all the TVs since 2003 and 13, I'm sorry, must include closed captions. They convert audio into text. They synchronize it with the video on TV. Since 1990, TV sets larger than 13 inches have built-in decoders to do this, and it's required by the FCC and the ADA. Now, for public places also, like airports. And I think that covers a lot of your basic needs. I hope I've helped. By the way, Amazon and Diglo, DIGLO.com, are good resources to look for these assistive devices if you have hearing loss. And for financial assistance, you could check out your qualification with www.cttact.com/loan or www.cttact.com chat.com/ATT. I hope you have found my presentation helpful. If you'd like to learn more about technology and listen to topics by other speakers, we have monthly HLA chapter meetings in 2 locations on Saturday mornings. And one is at Workspace in Manchester, the other one is starting in Norwich, Otis Library. So I'll be happy to hear from you about any questions you may have, or if you're interested in these meetings. My email is lowercase HLAA Eastern CT chapter @gmail.com. And check out the Hearing Loss Association of American National website. It's really super. It's lowercase hearingloss.org. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope I've helped you.
Thank you so much, Jenny. We do have one question about the eyeglasses. I think you mentioned that there was a cost for the glasses, and then is there an additional monthly cost that you mentioned as a subscription? Is that correct?
Yes, the subscription's between $15 and $50 a month, depending on the eyeglasses.
Okay, thank you. There's another, trying to see the other question here. My thing's not cooperating. He says, I'll share this slide from John Hopkins myself, but have seen other percentages used in the AUD recently, percent hearing loss. What is most correct? So we have Christine Tedford from the Helen Keller National Center. She's also joined the chat, so she's giving some information as well, some more reliable data from 2023. So that's great. Trying to connect people, and it's great we have Christine on the line to help educate people as well. So thanks for joining us today, Christine. Anybody else have any questions for Janine? You can always ask at the end as well. All right. Thank you so much, Janine. Appreciate your time and efforts to put this together. And we will again send it out to everybody after our meeting today. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to Louisa's presentation. And we will also be switching interpreters, I think. All right, just want to make sure everybody has enough time to catch up. So Louisa is the president of the Connecticut Association of the Deaf. So thank you for being here today. We appreciate your time. And I will advance the slides when you're ready.
Thank you, Michelle and Janine. I know Janine is more focused on the type of hearing loss with hard of hearing and late deafened individuals. I'm going to be focusing more on deaf, deaf-blind, the deaf and deaf-blind community. And I'll introduce myself a little bit as well. I'm 3rd generation deaf. I have 2 deaf adult children and 4 grandchildren, 3 of which are deaf. And looking back, when I was growing up, there was no technology at all. We had nothing. My parents were married and lived in a house that they would leave the front door unlocked because they weren't able to hear if anybody came and knocked on that door. And one night, my uncle had arrived home from the army and had tried to get my parents' attention using a flashlight. He was shining the flashlight through the windows trying to get their attention. My mom opened the window and realized, oh, okay, my brother has arrived home. It was about 1 or 2 in the morning. So that is what they were experiencing at that time. There was no technology at all, and that's what my parents had to go through. And then when I was born, my parents had no way of hearing if I was crying during the night. So they had brought the crib right next to their bed and attached a string that my mom would hold on to the string that was attached to the crib so she could feel if the crib moved at all. And then when my brother was born, they had finally been able to get a flashing light that would be able to alert them, as well as a flashing light for the doorbell. So that was the time period when I had started going to school, and where we had to speak at school. We weren't signing, but we used sign at home. So I learned both English and ASL growing up. I had no interpreters at school, and many things back then. For example, if I went to see the doctor, we wouldn't have an interpreter. We would have to write back and forth with the doctor or bring a family member who was able to sign decently enough. If they were able to fingerspell, we could bring them along. And we had to use neighbors to make phone calls. We were not able to watch TV with captions. We had to look and just assume what was going on. We really had no idea. But my father was good at making assumptions of what was happening, and he was able to often predict what was actually going to happen. Whereas when I was watching movies, I couldn't understand what was happening at all. It was really difficult. And that went on for a number of years. And then later, with ADA being established, it was a sandmark from a senator from Washington who had a deaf brother who was very involved in getting the ADA written. And he had worked with President Bush at that time to get the ADA passed. And that changed a lot. It made a lot of improvements within the deaf community. And there are still some issues, but we have finally been able to see captions on TV, which was really life-changing. I remember seeing the first 2 shows that I had watched was Dynasty and Dallas. There was a lot of people who were watching. They were able to watch and understand that night, to be able to understand what was happening in those shows. And then we were finally able to discuss and understand what was happening and what was going on. We had that access to communication where it was typically so awful back then. And when I was planning to visit a friend at that time, I would have to plan a month or 2 in advance to write a letter, send it to them, wait for them to write it back. Or I would have to drive, show up at their door, and hope that they were there and leave a note if they weren't. We had to live that way for so many years. But now many things have really changed after the ADA has become established. And that has 5 different areas, the ADA. I'm not going to explain the ADA in depth, but that involves court, legal work, hospitals, medical work. They're required to provide access. There is no excuse for that anymore with the ADA.